Hello, Dream Achievers. This is Lynn Watts here, and I am here today with my Marketing Minute to help you sell more so you can serve more and have a bigger impact in the world. So, we're in part two of Rev Up Your Revenue, and the second part is to assess. So, are you the kind of business owner that keeps up with your numbers on a regular basis, such as how many products you've sold, what your income is, what your profit is, your expenses, that sort of thing? Or are you the kind of business owner who rarely looks at your numbers, maybe, well, hopefully at least once a year when you have to file those taxes, but otherwise you just kind of stay away from that? Are you the kind of business owner who finds understanding and tracking the numbers in your business encouraging and motivating? Or are you someone who avoids tracking those numbers in your business because you find it confusing and perhaps discouraging? I've been on both sides of this equation, but it's important that if numbers are something that you avoid for whatever reason, and especially if you feel like you're not a numbers person, that you do take the time to complete step two of Rev Up Your Revenue, which is to assess. And that does involve, I am sorry to say, or actually, I'm happy to say, taking a look at those numbers. So I want you to set aside the time to carefully look at your numbers and determine the top three products or services that you sell. Now, you probably kind of have a feel for that without having to really dive deep into all those numbers, but do take a look at those numbers to the point where you're going to be able to use those numbers as we move through our different steps of revving up your revenue. If you don't have a ready means to do this, then now's the time to do whatever it takes, whether that means you create a system yourself so that you can readily see what those numbers are on a regular basis, or if you need to hire someone to take care of that for you and then to give you the finished product or those numbers that you need. So once you identify those top three sellers, I want you to determine what you think is a reasonable goal to expect within the next period of time that you're going to set aside, whether that's a few months, 6 months, a year, whatever. But what is it that you think would be reasonable? 10%, 20%? Pick a number that you feel like might be reasonable based on your history. Pick something that's a stretch, but not something that's going to keep you up at night. And once you have that in mind, and make sure you have a simple system so that you can track those numbers, I want you to create a visible and easy scoreboard for keeping up with those numbers on a regular basis. You might want to check them every day. You might want to check them once a week, but I want you to check them fairly often so that you can stay in touch with how this process is working in terms of revving up your revenue. So it may be as simple as having a chart that you write on. It might be something on the computer that you have an Excel spreadsheet. You're tracking that on a regular basis, but pick something that is easy, is simple, and it works for you. So when you identify your top three selling products and determine a reasonable amount to increase sales on those products, then you are positioned to sell more, serve more, and make a bigger impact in the world. Thanks for listening.